This podcast is a work of historical interpretation. While we strive for accuracy, some aspects of history are open to interpretation and debate. Thank you for listening.
Well, if somebody wouldn't have drank my rock star,
Just use my cackle as a sound effect randomly.
like I said, Yoda.
So we're on episode 4 of the Time Tellers podcast. Woohoo!
We are not on episode 4. This is episode 3.
No, you told me to skip to 4, and then we record 3 later.
That's assuming we get it recorded before 4 comes out.
Do you want me to switch?
Yes.
You want me to do
No, what I meant was this is now.
Oh, this is now. Okay.
You know what I mean? In case so we don't
Crap.
have the.
Okay, start over. Start scratch. Backwards. Okay, rewinding. We are on episode 3 of Time Tellers podcast.
Return of the Jedi.
No. Although that was a good one. I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan, but I did like that one.
What's wrong with you?
I'm a girl. Oh, that could be controversial.
Really?
There are
So you're
plenty
supposed
of
to say-
girls that like Star Wars, and that's awesome. Hey, I like Princess Leia. She's awesome. She kicks some butt. She rescues Han Solo. I mean, come on.
It gets them all captured in the process.
Semantics. Well, at least I know what I'll be for Halloween. Kidding.
A little cold for that.
Depends on which outfit you're wearing. Your mind just went to the wrong one.
You're referring to Return of the Jedi. And right when she got everybody captured. So
How did we get off on a Star Wars
It's
thing?
either the Bosch outfit from the Bounty Hunter or the other. That's it for Jabba's Palace. Those are your choices there.
Forget it. I'm not dressing up for Halloween. Halloween stinks. Just kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm going to really make people mad in this episode, apparently.
Speaking of Halloween, what are you doing the day after Halloween?
What day of the week
Or
is
2
it?
days after Halloween, I mean.
What day of the week are we talking? Because
Uh,
October's a long way away. This is August.
It's a Sunday, is it?
I don't know. I'd have to look
In
at the calendar.
November?
Oh, no, it's a Saturday, and we
Oh,
have
Saturday.
a show, don't we?
Yeah,
That's
the
what
day
he's
after
talking
Halloween.
about. We have a show with the band. Yes, because we're in a band, a local Erie, Pennsylvania cover / original band, mostly covers, called Comic Book Villains. And in fact, they'll be showing up here in about an hour to rehearse, so we got to get this recorded. But yes, Comic Book Villains. Dan plays bass, and I play violin. And
Yeah.
we have a drummer, another guitar, 2 other guitarists, and a singer.
Yeah.
So shout out to Comic Book Villains. We have a show November 2nd. That's what he's talking about. Anyways, episode 3. We'll set sail on a journey through the naval battles of the War of 1812. These clashes on the high seas played a pivotal role in shaping the course of the war and the future of the United States Navy. So, let's weigh anchor and embark on this historical voyage. I thought that was clever, no? Okay.
No, that definitely was not.
Okay. The War of 1812, often overshadowed by the American Revolutionary War and the Civil War, was a conflict fought between the United States and the British Empire. Again. I don't know.
Really? Again?
Well, we just fought the Revolutionary War. Now we're going to fight them again.
Except they've helped this time.
Well, they're our allies now. While the war is frequently remembered for land battles, like the burning of Washington, D.C., and the Battle of New Orleans, the naval battles were equally significant. They showcased American resilience and ingenuity and proved that a young nation could hold its own on the high seas. Our first story takes us to August 19th, 1812, off the coast of Nova Scotia. The USS Constitution, commanded by Captain Isaac Hull, encountered the British... He's doing so well. The British frigate HMS
frigate.
encountered the British frigate HMS Guerriere. I put it in a pronunciation code on that. I hope I said it correctly. Guerriere.
Gruyere.
That's-
Kind of like the cheese.
Google told me Guerriere.
How's it spelled? I don't even see it.
Oh.
Gruy, whatever.
G-U.
Oh, no clue.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was like the cheese.
Right. That's what I was thinking. That's why I actually looked up the pronunciation.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably still messed it up.
I'm glad I know that, but nobody else will hear that part.
The battle that ensued would become legendary. A frigate.
Legendary?
Legendary.
It's legendary?
Legendary.
Who's dairy?
What is that? What is that from? That is from How I Met Your Mother? Yes, I got it. A frigate is a type of warship. Historically, frigates were used for various roles, including escorting larger vessels, patrolling, and engaging in combat. Modern frigates are versatile ships with different weapons and systems for anti-submarine warfare, anti-aircraft defense, and surface warfare, making them critical assets in naval fleets. Yes. I didn't know what a frigate was. I had to look it up.
Didn't you ever play Battleship?
I did. I love Battleship. Battleship's a great game. Okay, but that doesn't mean I knew specifics about them. They're little plastic things that I try to blow up.
Wait, plastic?
Well, it depends on what game you have.
I have the Star Wars one.
Okay. I had like cheap versions. I don't know. I didn't have a specialty Star Wars anything.
Why not?
I don't know.
Star Wars Monopoly?
No. There's an Erie Monopoly game out there.
Yeah, I know. I have the Met Monopoly.
Oh, that does not surprise me that you would have that. I like Monopoly too.
What are you implying?
Nothing at all. The USS Constitution, nicknamed Old Ironsides, was built with thick hull of live oak, making her incredibly resilient to enemy fire. As the two ships exchanged broadsides, the British cannonballs reportedly bounced off the Constitution's hull, leading to her famous nickname. A broadside happens when a ship turns one side towards the enemy and fires all those cannons simultaneously. A successful broadside can damage the enemy's hull, sails, and crew, potentially crippling the ship. In a stunning display of naval tactics and gunnery, the Constitution crippled the Guerriere, forcing her to surrender. This victory was a massive morale booster for the American cause and proved that the young United States Navy could defeat the mightiest navy in the world. This victory was only 36 years since the United States had declared and eventually won its independence from Britain. Like, that's within people's lifetimes, even back then.
Yeah. Well, the states and a Commonwealth.
You know what? Was it a Commonwealth from the beginning?
For some stupid reason.
Thank you, William Penn. Pennsylvania means Penn's Woods. I'm just here to help. Next, we move to the Great Lakes, specifically Lake Erie, where one of the most critical naval battles of the War of 1812 took place on September 10th, 1813. Under the command of Oliver Hazard Perry, who was born in 1785 in Rhode Island, the American fleet faced the British fleet in a battle that would determine control of the lake. The lake that if I walked about 11 blocks that way, no, I'd hit the bay, not the lake, but still.
No, you'd have to go, depending on if you went that way a little bit.
Right.
Right at the end of the bayfront, I mean.
That's true, but it's called the Bayfront for a reason.
Yeah,
Bay.
but if you go right, there's the little pier thing, and then the Coast Guard base across from it.
Yeah, but
That's the end of the bay, though.
that's true. You're right.
That's
You're
the
right.
entrance to the bay, so. Well, where's the lake start and where's the bay end?
Ooh, is that a philosophical question?
Maybe.
The engagement began with intense cannon fire, and Perry's flagship, the USS Lawrence, took heavy damage. In a daring move, Perry transferred his flag to the USS Niagara, continuing the fight. Perry broke through the British lines with the Niagara, forcing their surrender.
And what famous speech did he make?
Ooh, that's my next paragraph.
Oh, good.
Perry's victory at the Battle of Lake Erie ensured American control of the lake, crucial for supply lines and troop movements. Perry's message after the battle, "We have met the enemy and they are ours," became famous and underscored the significance of the victory. This victory was a turning point in the war that boosted American morale and demonstrated the strength of the U.S. Navy. The USS Niagara, or the U.S. Brig Niagara, is in Erie, Pennsylvania. It is preserved as a museum ship and is part of the Erie Maritime Museum.
Not really.
Yes, it is.
There's only 2 tiny pieces of the original Niagara in it. It's all a reproduction.
Well, yes, fair.
There's,
preserved might be a little far.
Yeah, it's
stretch.
Far from it.
But they did raise it from...
They raised it and took a couple chunks out, and it's all sitting in the basement of the museum of the original.
Yes.
Yeah, the only...
The one that's functional is a reproduction. It is functional. They're just not using it.
Yeah, but the only original, there's a little piece up by the... where the captain would be standing, and then right around where the captain's quarters are, they did like the door frame.
The original.
Some of the original wood.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's pretty much it. There's
just the fact that they raised it from the bottom of the lake is crazy to me.
Yeah. That's a good story if you want to get into Misery Bay and all that.
Yeah, we should actually. Yeah.
Oh, we're not today?
Not really.
Oh, it's kind of appropriate for the War of 1812.
It is. It definitely is, but I just didn't think about it.
So that'll be part 2 for next week.
Yeah, we can do part 2.
Yeah, that's going to be next week. Next week will be Presque Isle in the War of 1812.
Yes, we could definitely do that.
So this will be our first 2-parter.
No, wow. Another notable naval encounter occurred on October 25th, 1812, when the USS United States, commanded by Captain Stephen Decatur, faced off against the HMS Macedonian. Decatur's ship outmaneuvered the Macedonian, and the American gunners delivered a devastating barrage that crippled the British frigate. The Macedonian struck her colors, and the victory boosted American naval prestige. Struck her colors is a maritime term that means a ship has surrendered. The phrase comes from lowering or striking, quote-unquote, a ship's flag, also known as its colors, to signify defeat and submission to the opposite force. The captured Macedonian was brought back to the United States, repaired, and commissioned into the U.S. Navy, symbolizing America's naval force's growing strength and capability. They literally just said, "We are taking you, and we are going to turn around and use you."
Yeah.
And work smarter, not harder, right? Instead of building their own. The USS Macedonian served in the United States Navy from her capture in 1812 until she was decommissioned in 1828, giving her about 16 years of service. While not a battle of the War of 1812, the Chesapeake Leopard affair in 1807 played a significant role in the lead-up to the war. The British ship HMS Leopard attacked the American frigate USS Chesapeake off the coast of Virginia, seeking to impress deserters. Do you know what impress means in terms of, like the sea, the ocean, and sailors?
No.
No. Impress refers to forcibly taking men into military or naval service. The incident resulted in American casualties and fueled the anti-British sentiment. This event highlighted the tensions over the British impressment of American sailors, one of the critical issues that led up to the declaration of war in 1812. The affair demonstrated the vulnerability of the U.S. Navy and the need for more robust maritime defense. Enter James Madison, who was our 4th president. And he was also in Hamilton, the musical.
Yeah.
Sorry. So his term was from 1809 until 1817. Madison's administration saw the construction and commissioning of several new ships, which played a crucial role in the war. One notable story from the War of 1812 is that of James Lawrence, a different captain of the USS Chesapeake. On June 1st, 1813, during a naval battle against the British HMS Shannon off the coast of Boston, Lawrence was mortally wounded. Despite his grave injuries, he famously commanded... Do you know what he said? What is the slogan for the War of 1812? At least naval.
Don't tread on me?
No, that was the Revolutionary War.
I know.
It's
Give
all
me
over the
liberty
place.
or give me death.
Go!
I know.
Try again. Three strikes and you're out.
Do I want to? Don't give up the ship?
Yes! Don't give up the ship. Yay! Shove confetti. His words became a rallying cry for the U.S. Navy. Although the Chesapeake ultimately surrendered, Lawrence's bravery and famous last command inspired American naval forces and became a lasting symbol of courage and determination. Okay, the Battle of New Orleans. The Battle of New Orleans, which took place on January 8th, 1815, was the final major battle of the War of 1812. While primarily a land battle, naval forces played a crucial supporting role. American naval units helped transport troops and supplies and provided vital artillery support, underscoring the importance of combined arms operations. Under the commander of General Andrew Jackson, American forces decisively defeated the British, securing a significant victory that boosted national pride. The battle's success, even though it occurred after the signing of the Treaty of Ghent, which ended the war, brought relief and marked the official end to the conflict. The Treaty of Ghent was signed on December 24th, 1814, and officially took effect on February 17th, 1815, after being ratified by the United States and Great Britain. This treaty ended the War of 1812. As you can see, the Battle of New Orleans took place between the signing and when the treaty took effect.
But that did take place in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Well, because, sometimes the battle names have nothing to do with what they actually were.
And this did, though.
Just had to double check for everybody so they all knew.
Fair.
It wasn't in Baton Rouge.
Andrew Jackson's victory at the Battle of New Orleans was a critical factor in his rise to national prominence and eventual presidency. The battle cemented his status as a national hero, which he effectively used to build a political career and secured presidency in 1828. The naval battles of the War of 1812 were more than just clashes at sea. They were defining moments that demonstrated American resolve and maritime capability. The victories achieved by the U.S. Constitution, the success at Lake Erie, and other encounters helped establish the United States as a formidable naval power. Before the War of 1812, the U.S. Navy was relatively small and consisted of about 16 ships. These included frigates, sloops, and smaller vessels. I'm not sure what a sloop is. I should look that up. I got distracted.
Smaller than a frigate.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
I'm trying to remember. It has a certain number of masts and all that kind of stuff. That's the main difference between them. It's been a long time.
Since you learned about, 18th century or early 19th century.
The differences between all those
naval ships. After the War of 1812...
I know a ship guy if we need him.
You know a guy for everything. After the War of 1812, the U.S. Navy grew considerably in size and importance. By the end of the war, the Navy had increased to about 50 ships. So we went from 16 to 50 in 2 years. That seems...
All those poor trees.
You're not wrong, because they were definitely making them out of wood back then.
Yeah.
These battles also highlighted American sailors and officers' bravery and skills whose legacy inspires today's U.S. Navy. As we reflect on these historic encounters, we recognize their critical role in shaping the future of the United States and its naval tradition, filling us with a sense of pride and inspiration. It's done.
You wrote it.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the naval battles of the War of 1812. If you enjoyed this Time Tellers episode, please rate and review our podcast on whatever platform you are listening. Stay tuned for our next episode. We'll be exploring more fascinating tales from history. Until then, keep exploring the past to understand our present. I'm just going to come up with random endings. I actually kind of like that one. Keep exploring the past to understand our present. And don't forget to check out our social media. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram. We have a TikTok. All Time Tellers. And we have an email, timetellerspodcast@gmail.com, if you want to reach out to us. Thank you so much. Band's here. Should probably hang up now.
And make sure you join us next week where we talk more about the War of 1812.
Yes, I have a new assignment, new homework assignment given to me. Misery Bay, the peninsula specifically.
Yes.